Hey everyone, welcome to the Alex Estrada podcast. My name is Alex Estrada, and this is the podcast where I talk about all the things that I love. Anime, baseball, the show Big Brother, TV, movies, music, professional wrestling, and all the other things that I love. As you can see, there's my mother Lisa, and this is my father Ed. And today, we're going to talk about Game 4 of the 1969 World Series between the Orioles and the Mets. The last time, we talked about Game 7 of the 1960 World Series between the Yankees and the Pirates. Bill Mazeroski's homer that shocked the world. Now, this game that we're talking about today is another David and Goliath matchup. When it comes to underdogs, the Mets are no different from the 1960 Pirates. Now, this started out as a dream matchup between two of the best pitchers in baseball, and it ended in bizarre and controversial fashion. Now, let's talk about the setup and the background for this game. This was baseball's 100th anniversary and the inauguration of divisional play in the LCS. The Orioles shocked everyone as underdogs themselves in a stunning 4-game sweep in the 1966 World Series against the reigning world champion Dodgers. They won 109 games in 1969, won the AL East by 19 games, and swept the Twins in the first ever ALCS. As the late great Kurt Gowdy said in the World Series highlight film, most experts rated the Orioles as one of the strongest, best balanced ball clubs ever sent into the World Series by the American League in hitting, fielding, pitching, power, speed, and experience. They were practically flawless and featured stars at almost every position. Their 109 wins were the most since the 1961 Yankees. On the other hand, the Mets had been a laughingstock since their first year. In their first 4 seasons, 1962 to 1965 and 1967, they lost over 100 games in each of those years. In 1966 and 68, they finished 9th. Journalist Jimmy Breslin even wrote a book about their struggles called Can Anybody Here Play This Game? They stumbled out of the gate in 1969 by starting the year 18-23 and in 4th place and 9 games back before starting a franchise record 11-game win streak, which had 3 walk-off wins and dominant pitching, as in that streak, Mets pitchers averaged giving up only 2 runs per game. That's when their winning ways began. Starting with their 42nd game, the Mets went 82-39 in their last 129 games. Or 121 games, excuse me. A winning percentage of .678. Despite this, they spent a majority of this season chasing the Cubs, who led the division for most of the season. And by August 14th, they were 10 games back and in 3rd place. But they won 14 of their last 17 games in August, and they won 24 of their 32 games in September and October. This, along with the Cubs' September collapse, gave the Mets their first trip to the playoffs, where they would sweep the heavily favored Braves in the first ever NLCS. The Orioles were the logical favorite against the 100-1 odd Mets. Now let's take a look at the managers. Earl Weaver was one of the greatest and most influential managers of all time. He heavily relied on pitching, defense, and power. He loved 3-run homers, didn't give a damn about pitch counts, which is the exact opposite of managers today. He was always determined to bring out the best in his players. He loved awesome defense, power hitters, obsessed over OBP, one of the first managers to actually do so, and he wanted his hitters to wait for a good pitch to hit. The things he hated included stolen bases, bunt, hit and run plays, and of course, umpires. He was ejected for more than 90 times in his managerial career, including the postseason. He would often turn his cap backwards to get close to an umpire. Sometimes after an ejection, he would get on the phone to tell the coaches what moves to make. Gil Hodges couldn't have been any more different. Unlike managers like Earl Weaver, Bobby Cox, Lou Piniella, and Billy Martin, Gil Hodges was very quiet. He wasn't one of those managers that would throw his cap to the ground, take a base and throw it, kick dirt on the umpires, or yell and scream in their faces or anything like that. According to Bud Harrelson, when Gil Hodges came in '68, he watched and analyzed. Then in 1969, he started working on all of them. Cleon Jones said that Gil Hodges told them that they were a good ball club and that they were one of the best ball clubs in the league, and that some point in time during the season it would be proven. And they looked at each other confused as if to say, what the hell is he talking about? Now, in Game 1, it was a battle of the Cy Young Awards, Tom Seaver and Mike Cuellar. Don Buford led off the game for the Orioles with a home run. In the fourth, the Orioles scored 3 runs with 2 outs. Mike Cuellar went the distance, and the Orioles won 4-1. It's worth noting that the Mets have never won Game 1 of the World Series. In Game 2, it was lefties Dave McNally and Jerry Koosman. Don Clendenon would hit his first homer of the series in the fourth. That not only gave the Mets a 1-0 lead, but it also ended McNally's streak of 23 consecutive scoreless innings in the postseason. Jerry Koosman no-hit the Orioles for 6 innings before the Orioles finally got to him to tie the game in the 7th. The Mets took a 2-1 lead in the 9th, and Ron Taylor came in to get the last out to give the Mets their first ever World Series victory. The pitching matchup for Game 3 was a David and Goliath matchup. For the Mets, rookie Gary Gentry. For the Orioles, Hall of Famer Jim Palmer. Definitely sounds like a mismatch. Now, as much as I would love to explain how Game 3 came about, I think it would be better to just show you.
And it's in color.
Yeah.
Unlike,
Uh-huh.
I wonder when they first went to color.
I'm thinking maybe this might be the first year.
It might be the first year.
Tommy Agee led off the game for the Mets with a home run.
Which game is this in?
Game 3.
Shea Stadium was only, 4 years old?
Something like that.
65, I think?
No, 64.
65.
Okay, now.
Well, the Mets are threatening now. Runners on first and second, 2 down. Drive to the right center. Score 2 runs. Jeffrey is coming.
Who was the center fielder for the Orioles?
Paul Blair.
The sign man at Shea.
Carl Earhart.
Incredible is right.
He should be in the Mets Hall of Fame.
He should. That's a good call.
And he doubles on the first pitch. A very weak hitting pitcher. No wonder they call him the amazing Met.
Yeah, no wonder they call him the Amazing Mets.
I want that jacket.
What are we seeing now?
Tommy Agee's first catch.
There's a drive into deep left center. Racing hard is Agee. Running down. Tom Agee. Saves 2 runs.
He's still holding it as a snow cone. What?
Yeah.
Tommy Agee. Going all the way to the track. Look at the backhand stab with the glove. And now he'll have to break it with the bare hand on the wall. A lot of white showing. Look at that ball.
Little
He just
Lindsey
had that
Nelson.
one, Lindsey.
Yep, Lindsey Nelson.
Yeah. Move ahead. This is his second catch.
Count is 0-2. And it is a fly ball. It'll be tough to get to. A.G. is going, and A.G. makes it down the catch. He's out.
The first one was the better catch, I think.
Yeah. Look where he's playing when Paul Blair hits the ball. You see
I
where he's
him.
playing?
Yeah.
Same with Hendricks, too.
Now, A.G. twice has clutched this ball in the webbing of his glove. Once against Hendricks with 2 on and 2 out. This time with the bases loaded at 2 out.
He had to run a marathon to get to it.
Another standing ovation
Yeah.
for him.
Both times.
Can't hear you, Mom.
Deep center field, and Blair goes back. It is going, and it is down for a home run for Ed Crane.
Eddie Crane from the Boogie Down Bronx.
Yeah.
Crane with a World Series home run that puts the Mets out in front 5-0.
Jane Jarvis with the organ lace.
She should be in the Mets Hall of Fame, too.
Terry struck him out with a breaking pitch. Struck him out with a curveball, and the New York Mets win the ball game. Gary Gentry gets the win, and the Mets go up 2-1.
I think Grandpa Tony was at this game.
Yeah, you told me that he was.
Yogi Berra there. Gary Grody waiting for Tommy Agee to go into the dugout with him. That's Clint Lennon waiting for Agee. It was Agee's day. So the final score was the New York Mets 5 runs, 6 hits, no errors. Baltimore no runs, 3 hits, 1 error.
Okay. So. The Mets are up 2-1 over the Orioles. But if they want to avoid having to go back to Baltimore, they have to win games 4 and 5. Now, Game 4 was a pitching rematch of Game 1 between the Cy Young winners Tom Seaver and Mike Cuellar. Despite a rough start, Tom Seaver would get his redemption, and this would be the pitching matchup that we didn't get in Game 1. Now, let's take a look at their numbers. Look at those numbers.
Jeez. Look at how many innings.
I know. In addition to these stats and winning the Cy Young, Mike Cuellar currently ranks 6th on the Orioles' all-time list in innings pitched and complete games, 5th in strikeouts, 4th in wins, and 3rd in shutouts. As for Seaver, he currently ranks 2nd, only to Jacob deGrom on the Mets' all-time list in ERA and WHIP, but 1st in wins, innings pitched, strikeouts, complete games, and shutouts. Cuellar was 8th in the MVP voting, while Seaver was the runner-up. Before the 1969 World Series, Cuellar faced the Mets a few times before when he was with the Cardinals and then the Astros. He went 5-5 against the Mets. He lost both his starts against them in '66, went 4-1 against them in '67, and 0-2 against them in 1968. Of those games, he faced Seaver twice before the first game of the World Series. Cuellar won one in 1967, Seaver won one in 1968. So before Game 1 of the World Series against each other, Seaver and Cuellar were 1-1. Now let's take a look at the starting lineups. Here's the Orioles starting lineup, and as you can see, it's a very powerful lineup. As great as the other hitters were, this lineup pretty much centered around the 3 and 4 hitters, Frank Robinson and Boog Powell. They hit a combined 69 homers, 221 RBIs, a 306 batting average, and finished second, third in the MVP voting. Here's the Mets starting lineup that Gil Hodges put up against the lefties in this series. For the starting lineups in this series, he did righty-lefty and lefty-righty. Against the lefties, switch hitter Bud Harrelson hit right-handed in the number 2 spot against the lefties, but against righty Jim Palmer in Game 3, he hit left-handed in the number 8 spot. Donklin didn't play at all in Game 3 against Palmer. Instead, original Matt Ed Kranepool, who my grandpa Gregory went to school with, played first base in the number 6 spot. And as I showed you earlier, hit a solo shot to give the Mets a 5-0 lead. The only postseason home run of his career. Juan Swoboda didn't play in Game 3 against the righty either. Left-handed hitter Art Shamsky started in right field in Game 3 and hit cleanup. The last right-handed bat that didn't play in Game 3 at all is third baseman Ed Charles. Left-handed hitter Wayne Garrett played third base in Game 3 and hit
Redhead.
second. Yeah,
Redhead.
that's right. No, he wasn't. Al Weiss came on later in Game 3, but left-handed hitter Ken Boswell started Game 3 at second base in the number 5 spot. The Orioles lineup has 230 home run hitters, while this Mets lineup has none. This Mets lineup combined only had 74 home runs during the season. That's only 5 more than Boog Powell and Frank Robinson combined. During the season, the entire Orioles... Hang on. During the season, the entire Orioles offense was much better than the Mets offense. The Orioles scored 779 runs, while the Mets scored 632.
I'm sorry, Alex, to interrupt. Can you text me the link? Because TT Amy says she doesn't have it and she's not on Discord.
Okay. I could try. Hang on, invite. Let me go to...
Because I'm not on Discord either and I don't get the link.
Invite to voice. How about I send it to your email?
Okay.
This will take a minute.
And Lisa, whenever you want to talk, you need to unmute yourself because we can't hear you when you're talking.
Oh my god, I think I forgot to send her the link.
Who, TT Amy?
Yeah, that might be the problem.
You just sent it to her?
I'm about to. Can't believe I forgot to do that. Send her the link. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah, the Orioles scored 779 runs during the season, while the Mets scored 632. The Orioles had 1,465 hits, while the Mets had 1,311. The Orioles had 234 doubles, while the Mets had 184 doubles. The Orioles had 175 home runs and 722 RBIs, while the Mets only had 109 home runs and 598 RBIs. The Orioles had 634 walks, while the Mets had 527. The Orioles' batting average was .265, while the Mets' batting average was .242. The Orioles' OBP was .343, while the Mets' OBP was .311. The Orioles' slugging percentage was .414, while the Mets' slugging percentage was .351. The Orioles' OPS was .756, while the Mets' OPS was .662. The Orioles had 2,282 total bases, while the Mets had 1,904 total bases. But every baseball fan knows that good pitching stops good hitting, and the Mets would prove it in this series.
Although going into the series, didn't the Orioles have 5 20-game winners?
You're thinking of 71 now.
Oh.
And that was 4 20-game winners, not 5. Okay, now. Are we ready to watch Game 4 of the 1969 World Series between the Orioles and the Mets?
Yes.
Okay, so back then, NBC broadcaster, late great Kurt Gowdy, would call the World Series games with a broadcaster that represented the home team. He called this game with the late great Mets broadcaster, Lindsey Nelson. So let's get to the game with Kurt Gowdy and Lindsey Nelson at the mic.
Take the field. They're leading in the World Series, 2-1. Young Tom Seaver has been warming up out in the...
And Lisa, you can hear it pretty good, right?
He's now in the dugout. Very shortly he's coming out, and now to set you up the Mets defensively and take over for the play-by-play, Lindsey Nelson. Thank you very much, Kurt Gowdy. That's Don Clendenin at first base for the Mets. Al Weiss is at second. Bud Harrelson, the shortstop. And Ed Charles are on at third. Leon Jones is in left field. Tommy Agee, yesterday's hero, in center field. And Ron Swoboda is around in right. Jerry Brody again is the Met catcher. And Tom Seaver has not yet come out onto the field. As Kurt Gowdy indicated, he had been warming up down in the bullpen area. Seaver getting his second start as we're to the point where we're going the second time around in pitching assignments. Cuellar opposed Seaver in the opening game Saturday in Baltimore. The game won by the Baltimore Orioles by a score of 4-1. Mrs. Casey Stengel is being escorted. There's Edna getting a handshake from the Commissioner of Baseball. And Casey Stengel there, and perhaps you saw when he was standing, and sitting just now over to the right is Joe DiMaggio, who played for Casey when he was winning those pennants for the New York Yankees. Now Seaver runs out to the mound. Baseball's winningest pitcher this year, the winningest pitcher in the major leagues with 25 victories. He was the losing pitcher in the opening game last Saturday. He has been disappointing his last 2 times out, both in the championship series against the Atlanta Braves, in which he did get the victory, and
25 and 7.
the game in which he took the loss.
My
25
goodness.
and 7 with a 2-1 earned run average. Tom Seaver. It's a little crisp here today, and we were talking to Seaver before the ball game. He was saying it's a little bit like the weather at Fairbanks, Alaska, when he played for the Alaska Gold Panthers, which he did, along with Kurt Moten.
There's one thing I forgot to mention. In Game 4, after the Buford leadoff home run, in the 4th, he gave up 3 runs with 2 outs, while Mike Cuellar went the distance.
You know, Lindsey, we noticed when the Orioles were introduced a much more determined-looking team when they went to the foul lines today. They're grim, and they know now this is it. They've got to get moving here in this series. This is indeed a pivotal
No,
game
the
in the
cursor.
World
The
Series.
hour.
And Don Buford's coming up. Keep in mind that in Baltimore, on the second pitch thrown by Tom Seaver, Buford hit it out for a home run.
That was the game 1.
Don Buford hit .291 during the regular American League season. He is 2 for 11 so far.
An All-Star in 71, his leadoff home run in Game 1 made him the first player to ever lead off a postseason series with a home run.
In all the years of baseball playoffs, he was the first one to hit a leadoff home run to start a playoff game.
That's what I read.
Both Buford and Seaver opposing each other right here played college baseball at the University of Southern California. Buford came to the Orioles from the Chicago White Sox. The changeup. Short hopped into Grody. The third baseman is Ed Charles in on the grass there. Breaking pitch and has thrown more change-ups this year than ever before, and he's been followed by the remainder of the Mets staff in that regard. Breaking pitch, and it's a little low. It's 2-2. The turn throw gets away. The umpire behind the plate is Shag Crawford of the National League, calling balls and strikes, and you will note that he works extremely close to the catcher. He's having a word there with Grody at the moment. Not as close as he once did, but still very close. Foul off and out of play. We were talking to Shag Crawford before the start of today's ball game. He has never worked behind Ellie Hendricks, of course, and he said that before the game now, he would say to Ellie, I do work extremely close. Don't let it worry you, because with runners on base, I'll move back a little. But he gets right up there.
Batting in the second position.
That brings up Paul Blair.
Number 6.
The umpire, Shag Crawford, behind the plate. He's from the National League. Lou DeMuro of the American League at first. Big Lee Wire of the National League at second. Hank Soar of the American League at third. Frank Sikora of the National League down the left field line. Larry Knapp of the American League down the right field line.
Here's Paul Blair, good hitter, 2-time All-Star, 7 Gold Gloves in a row, 8 overall, led the league in fielding percentage 3 times, and led the league in assists and putouts twice.
Breaking pitch low and away. It's 1-1.
So his, from what I'm reading, his wasn't the first leadoff home run in a playoff series. It was in a World Series.
That's right.
After having pitched last Saturday, this would be his regular turn. After the Mets clinched the championship in the Eastern Division, he did not work in regular turn, and there's some feeling that that might have affected his work. Low, it's 2-2. Seaver is 24 years of age. Born in Fresno, California. Gil Hodges wearing the jacket here in Shea today. There is a base hit for Paul Blair in the center field. A.G. up with it, returns it. Blair turns and holds with a single and into the first base hit of the ball game.
Picture's not very good, but what are you gonna do?
And now Frank Robinson.
Oh man, Frank Robinson.
During the American League season, Robinson is 1 for 9.
One of my favorites, one of the best hitters in baseball history. First player to win the MVP in both leagues, made his name with both the Reds and the Orioles. 14-time All-Star, batted at least 309 times, hit at least 30 home runs 11 times, led the league in runs scored 3 times, slugging percentage and OPS 4 times, and Rookie of the Year in 56. As for his career, 586 home runs, 5,373 total bases, 1,186 extra base hits, 1,829 runs scored. 1966, his first year as an Oriole, was his best year. Unanimous MVP and Triple Crown winner. He led the league that year in runs scored, home runs, RBIs, batting average, on base percentage.
Breaking pitch, and it's hit deep to left center field. Way back, A.G.'s at the track.
As he flies out to A.G. Slugging percentage, OPS, OPS plus, and total bases. His exact numbers in 1966 were 122 runs scored, 49 home runs, 122 RBIs, 316 batting average, 410 on base percentage, 637 slugging percentage, 1.047 OPS, 198 OPS plus, and 367 total bases. His year in 66 was clearly one of the best hitting seasons of all time. Here's Blue Powell, 4-time All-Star, led the league in 1964 with a 606 slugging percentage. The MVP in 1970 and hit 3 home runs in a game 3 times. On the Orioles' all-time list, he currently ranks 3rd in homers and 4th in RBIs. Diti?
Hi.
Hi.
Moving back inside with the fastball. It's 1-1.
You haven't missed much, just the intro, and we're underway in the top of the first inning with a runner on with 2 outs.
Sounds great. I'm in the car, so I'm going to be on mute.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Breaking pitch is fouled off. Change speed is 1-2.
Beautiful day. What day? What was the date?
I'm thinking it was either October 15th or 16th. I have to look.
These are little details as you're doing it. Like you can Google, how was the weather on that date? So
Very sunny. It's very sunny, but a few shadows are going to creep in, and that'll come to play later on. I was right, October 15th.
It's high for a ball. Yesterday, we didn't hear much of the air traffic in and out of LaGuardia because of the direction of the wind. However, today, they are using the runway nearest to this ballpark, so you're likely to hear the noise of jet planes throughout the afternoon. This will be
I
a 2-2
Googled how was
pitch
the
to
weather
Powell.
October 15, 1969.
Mm-hmm.
I should have said in New York.
And it's in there for a ball. Strike three. Two strikeouts for Seaver in the inning. The side is retired with no runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. In the middle of the first inning.
Just curious, Alex, why did you pick this game in particular?
Coming to bat.
Well,
Good question.
years ago, during when MLB asked what were the greatest games of the last 50 years in 2011, this game was one of the choices. It could have been on the list.
How does it rank for you?
It's definitely, one of the best pitching matchups on my list. And definitely a great underdog story.
Awesome.
So very interesting about the weather, Alex, when I Googled it. It says the month of October 1969 was noted as the all-time hottest October on record at the time. Daily temperatures exceeded 68 degrees with lows in the low 50s. Parts of Long Island and Queens experienced a severe lack of rain, with some areas having not had no rain for 58 straight days from August to October.
Jeez.
So that's why the weather looks so great.
The shortstop.
Yeah.
And Brooks Robinson is in third.
Brooks Robinson, arguably the best third baseman ever.
Does not put in an appearance.
They didn't call him the human vacuum for
We are
nothing.
awaiting his appearance.
Trust me, I'll talk about him later.
Paul Blair is in center. And Frank Robinson is in right. The catcher is Ellie Hendricks. And the pitcher is
Lisa
Mike
and
Cuellar.
Amy, even though I know you're driving, Amy, but can you see the picture pretty well?
This year with 23 victories. He was the winning pitcher for the Orioles last Saturday over the Mets when the score was 4-1. 23 lost 11. The earned run
I
average
can now,
2.38.
actually. It
Born
says
in
watch
Southbound
stream.
Cuba. Now, Buford starts, comes back.
Look at the dugouts and the camera protections, no netting.
Yeah.
So imagine long drives going in there.
Yeah.
He has a knee bandage that was not comfortable, and he is readjusting it there. You saw him reach down and start moving that knee around. He's not satisfied with it yet. So the trainer will do a little work on it now. The umpire there is Shag Crawford.
Shag Crawford, I remember him.
Yeah. He'll come into play later on in this game. As Lindsay said, he works extremely close behind the catcher.
Bandage that was bothering him. Apparently it's the knee that was bothering him.
The fans are starting to get uneasy with the delay.
Yeah. Well-deserved standing ovation for Tommy Agee. Aside from his performance in Game 3, how 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 good was he in not only 1969 but also the following year in 1970? Here's what he did in 1969. An upper deck shot at Shea, which was part of his first career multi-home run game. His first career 4-hit game on May 2nd of that year. He batted .357 in the LCS against the Braves. He was the comeback player of the year. In 1970, he got a 20-game hit streak, and in June of that year, he had .364, 11 homers, and 30 RBIs, and was named Player of the Month. As he grounds out, he also hit for the cycle on July 6th of 1970, and won his second career Gold Glove. To top it all off, one day in an extra inning game against the Dodgers, he stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and stole home to give the Mets a 2-1 win. In 1969, he led the team in homers, RBIs, and runs scored. Here's Bud Harrelson batting right-handed against the lefty Cuellar. Buddy would go on to become, as he bunts one foul. Buddy would go on to become a coach and manager, win a Gold Glove in 71, become a two-time All-Star and led the league in putouts in 1970. On the Mets all-time list, Buddy currently ranks 7th in hits, 9th in stolen bases, 5th in singles, and 3rd in triples.
I didn't realize he's still 7th in hits on the team.
Tom Seaver loved himself some Bud Harrelson. They were best friends for more than half a century.
And what is he very famous for? The fight.
Oh yeah, with Pete Rose.
Cuellar has worked here at Shea Stadium before, of course, when he was in the National League. That's a little low for a ball. He worked here last on August 18th, 1968, and lost 8-1. This is a foul ball. It's back and out of play. This game is authorized under television rights granted by Major League Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. There's a base hit. And the left field, Buford comes up with it.
Buddy. Who was the Met first base coach?
Yogi Berra.
That's what I thought. And he was wearing number 8.
Yeah. Here's Cleon Jones. His .340 batting average was 3rd best in the National League. He was also second on team, only behind Tommy Agee, in home runs, RBIs, and runs scored. Gil Hodges said that in the 1969 Mets highlight film that he believed the main reason why Cleon didn't win the batting title was because he had hurt his rib diving for a ball in the outfield and was out for at least 10 days and was real sore when he came back. On the Mets all-time list, Cleon currently ranks 9th in runs scored, total bases, and RBIs, and 4th in singles, triples, and hits. Cleon and Tommy Agee were childhood friends. They grew up together in Alabama.
Harrelson's back safely. Back again. 1968, Cuellar's record against the Mets was no wins and 2 losses. One of those was a 1-0 loss to Tom Seaver. It was at Houston on June 20th. Ground ball to short. Belanja to Johnson for 1. The throw on and a double play. 6-4-3 if you're scoring, and the side is retired with no runs, a hit, no errors, and none left. And at the end of an inning, the score is Baltimore nothing, the Mets nothing.
Now, so Titi Amy knows you don't do every inning, correct?
That's correct.
I love Jane Jarvis playing the organ.
Yeah.
At least it sounds like the Star Wars. They used to play the flute, remember, in the bar or whatever, in that. I think Mama fell asleep.
Tonight at 11:30, 10:30 Central Time, NBC News
Okay,
presents
so
a day in October.
Brooks Robinson.
A 90-minute program evaluating today's Vietnam moratorium. Frank McGee, John Chancellor, and Ed Newman will join other NBC correspondents and spokesmen from the conflicting viewpoints.
Brooks Robinson is the greatest defensive third baseman of all time. 18-time All-Star, 16 straight Gold Gloves, MVP in '64, when he led the league in RBIs with 118, as well as other career highs with 28 homers and a .317 batting average. On the Orioles all-time list, he currently ranks 4th in homers and 2nd behind Cal Ripken in runs scored, hits, total bases, doubles, RBIs, and extra base hits. He led all AL third baseman in fielding percentage 11 times, assists 8 times, and put out in double plays 3 times. Almost 2,700 career putouts, over 6,200 assists, over 9,100 total chances, 618 double plays at third base, and a career fielding percentage of .971 as he grounds out to short. That's exactly where Agee was playing him when he caught that ball.
Hendricks said before the ball game he doesn't recall ever hitting a ball any harder to that field than he did yesterday. The book on him says he's a line drive hitter that may hit it over the right field fence for you. Foul out. 1 and 2. That's Dave Johnson on deck. Inside low. 2-2. Low, and the count is full at 3 and 2. Baltimore nothing, the Mets nothing in the top of the second. Shea Stadium in New York. Here's a payoff pitch. And he walked him. First walk issued by Seaver. The Orioles, their second baseman. Dave Johnson coming up.
Here's Davey Johnson. Every Mets fan knows him as the man who led them to a world championship in '86. He was a great second baseman, too. In '66, he finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting and made the All-Star team and won a Gold Glove with them 3 years in a row. So,
Ground ball is short. Arrow side. Goes back to Weiss from the relay to first. The big stretch by Don Clendenin. So the fourth play makes it 2 away, and Mark Belanger will be coming up.
yeah, so they got the out at second, but Johnson was able to beat it out.
Outside pitch. Big hop. Nelson gets rid of it quickly. Johnson went down the line, got a big break from home plate.
Mark Belanger's batting, an all-star in 76, winner of 8 Gold Gloves, led the league in assists and fielding percentage 3 times, and 8th on the Orioles all-time list in singles. Between Robinson, Johnson, and Belanger, that's 27 Gold Gloves. Clearly one of the greatest infield trios of all time.
This past year, Belanger's average went from 208 to 287. Down the right field line.
How long did they play together?
How long did who play together? Johnson, Robinson, and Belanger?
Yes, sir.
Maybe 10 years or.
So who were the 4 again, Alex?
The 3, Brooks Robinson, Mark Belanger, and Davy Johnson.
Put up a good practice, and that's the reason he raised his average to those 80 points. Watch how he chokes up now. He has a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. There are 2 men out with a runner at first. There's no score in the game. Runner goes, and the pitch is high. Cody's throw to Harrelson, and he's out.
And out by a mile, too. That's what Jerry Gordy was. One of the best defensive catchers of his era. He led the league in putouts 2 years in a row, and in 1975 led the league in fielding percentage. During his time with the Mets, he threw out 314 base stealers out of 799. That's a little over 39%. But probably his best accomplishment was the fact that he caught Tom Seaver more than anyone else. 237 games together as a battery, to be exact. Seaver probably helped him throw out all of those base runners because you don't just steal off the catcher, you steal on the pitcher as well.
So just curious, Alex, and I don't know if you know the answer, but how does 39% compare to nowadays?
Well, to be honest with you, I would say that's way above average.
Okay.
And Amy, to your question,
Yeah.
Mark Belanger, Davy Johnson, and Brooks Robinson played for 7 seasons together.
That's pretty good.
Was Wayne Garrett a rookie that year, this year?
I would think so. I'd have to check. That's quite a comparison. Yes, this was his rookie year. Here's Don Clendenin, who the Mets traded for in mid-June. Before he was traded to the Mets, they didn't really have any right-handed power that was consistent, especially at first base. All they had at first base were lefties Ed Kranepool and maybe Art Shamsky. They traded for him to add some pop to the lineup, and slowly but surely, he did. He provided timely power during the Mets' late-season surge. The platoon at first base, Clendenin versus lefties, Kranepool versus righties, proved to be highly effective. It combined for more home runs and RBIs than before. Clendenin delivered the veteran power, leadership, and clutch performance that the Mets needed. Bud Harrelson said that they never had a 3-run homer type of guy, and the Mets became a different team when they got Clendenin. Agee called him the final piece of the puzzle, is what Tommy Agee called him.
Miss blown away, so it's 2-2. It's out full at 3-2 now to Clendenin.
So he started him out 0-2, now he's behind in the count.
Look at the sideburns.
Yeah.
Everybody used to wear sideburns like that. Grandpa Tony wore sideburns like that.
Yeah, he did. I saw the picture.
He called it a home run way before it even went out.
He knew it was gone as soon as he hit it.
Yeah.
And then with his second home run of this World Series, pushed the Mets to a 1-0 lead. Watch, this is either a screwball or a breaking pitch. It didn't act up right out over the plate for him. Clendenon,
He threw it where he wanted it.
power behind him.
A little bit, not enough in.
Last
Yeah.
one right out.
Okay, so it's 1-0 Mets. Cuellar got the next 3 guys, so we'll move ahead to the top of the 3rd inning, where Earl Weaver does something no manager has done in 34 years, and then Tom Terrific will get into his first jam.
That organ is cracking me up.
Jane Jarvis, man, she's
Jeez.
awesome. And she did that by hand, no recordings.
That's right.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Tony Kubek. With me down here, a man who has given 50 years of his life to baseball, the president of the National League, Mr. Warren Giles. Mr. Giles, everybody's starting to believe the Mets.
Oh, I believe in them. I tell you, they have what they call going for them, something of togetherness or something, cohesion. Whatever it is, it's great. It's just wonderful for baseball that a New York team, the Cinderella team, really can do this thing and get into this World's Classic. Sam, I'm kind of proud of this cap. I'm going to put that on, that NBC cap there.
People are going to be proud of you, too.
Good deal.
Thank you, Mr. Giles. We appreciate you being here.
Wonderful being here.
Let's go on upstairs. Mark Belanger takes a pitch high and tight for ball one. He was at the plate when Johnson was thrown out at second in the second inning.
Watch this pitch, Dad.
First time up. Tom Seaver with the pitch. Changes speed, gets it in there for a call strike. Breaking pitch, it's 1-1.
A little outside, but they called it a strike.
And now Shag Crawford has turned and pointed the finger.
Oh, see, they didn't like the call either.
Moves on over toward the dugout. And that's Earl Weaver.
Here comes Earl.
Orioles coming out now.
Is he going to flip his cap?
Calling balls and strikes here today. And Weaver's just behind him as he moves
I'd be
back.
pissed.
Oh, he
if that
threw
was
him
the
out.
worst strike call ever.
I didn't realize he got thrown out that early in the game.
Yeah. Apparently he said something that Shaq Crawford didn't like, so he became the first manager since 1935 to be thrown out of a World Series game.
Wow, I didn't know
The
that.
commissioner explains to them before the start that this is a little something special. It's a big event, but apparently whatever he said got Crawford's immediate attention.
During the season, they're not supposed to protest on balls and
What are
strikes.
they chanting?
But they say, unless something...
I don't know, they're chanting go or something?
Yeah.
Leave the ball players in there, the manager. This is it looks like Weaver's out. A few times. Back up he's screwing to, well, let's see, what's he going to do? He's gone. He's down the dugout and gone.
You know, he didn't complain much after he got thrown out, which leads me to believe he said the magic
Weaver's out of
word.
this ball game.
Yeah.
We can only guess who's running the club. I guess Billy Hunter. You suppose Kurt? It's only a guess. Line drive to right and a base hit for Belanger. One hop. Taken by Swoboda and played back, and it's the second base hit now for the Orioles. Off Tom Seaver.
Could be Bamberger. It still could be Weaver back somewhere watching it on TV, too.
There have been cases of that. Cuellar is up now, and what may very well be a sacrifice
The
situation.
pitchers used
for
to have
the
to hit.
Orioles.
That's
He
right.
won 17.
So everyone's expecting Mike Cuellar to bunt. He got an RBI single off Seaver in Game 1, and in the LCS against the Twins the next year, he hit a grand slam.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that
He was
either.
out of the strike zone, and it is ball and batted in a run in that game Saturday. It is low, 2-0. The Mets are leading 1-0. The Orioles batting in the top of the third. 2-0 pitch. In the strike zone, it's 2-1. Squared again. Sacrificing
Man,
the
look
count
how
has been on all
close
3 pitches.
Garrett is at third.
And Charles.
Oh, that said Charles. I thought you said Garrett started this game.
No, Garrett started game 3.
Oh, okay. Oh, and he hit away.
Punched it into left field. For a
That's
base
what
hit.
Casey Stengel called the Butcher Boy swing.
Belanger and Cuellar is on at first with a single to left. Flubbed the butt, then punched it to left field. Nobody out, runners first and second.
You see a lot of players try and do that. It's difficult. Cuellar was a real artist with that one.
Now it's Don Buford coming up, and he's a switch hitter. He's been up one time, and he struck out. The Mets protecting against the sacrifice possibility here. With Clendenin on the grass at first and Charles on the edge of the grass at third. Seaver will cover on the third base side. And it's in for a strike as he was squaring to bunt and took the pitch in the strike zone. Mets here will have Clendenin covering on the first base side, Seaver on the third base side. Charles hanging around the bag to take a possible throw for a possible force. Breaking pitch inside low, blocked by Grody. He was around to bunt again. Belanger at second. And Cuellar at first.
Lindsay, you've seen Seaver since he came up with the Mets. He's a very good fielding pitcher, isn't he?
Excellent fielding pitcher. He's agile. He's a good all-around athlete. This will be a 1-1 pitch to Don Buford. Hammered on the ground to Clendenin. What a play. The fourth and second and no throwback.
Great play by Clendenin.
As they get the middleman Cuellar. That ball came within a millimeter of being bounced over the head of Clendenin at first base. He was way in on the edge of the grass. So now runners at first and third, one man out, and Paul Blair coming up.
That 6'4" frame didn't hurt the Mets there at first base.
Didn't hurt at all. And Paul Blair is up now. He had the first base into this ball game in the first inning off Tom Seaver. Let's keep Harrelson and Weiss at double play depth. The Mets are leading 1-0. The Orioles threatening here in the top half of the third inning. Seaver off the stretch. Breaking pitch low and away into the dirt again. Buford is at first. Belanger is the runner at third. The 1-0 pitch to Blair. Swung on and missed. It's 1-1. Belanger at third and Buford at first with one away. Ball is batted up into the air and Seaver lets it drop. Now goes to first and now they have a shot but no throw at second. Seaver purposely let the ball drop to see if he had a possible shot at a double play. He decided he'd better hustle it over to first and then no throw was made to second on Buford. Two men out, runners at second and third.
That's the same play that Paul Blair pulled in the 12th inning against the Minnesota Twins with a bunt down the third baseline. It was a safety squeeze. Belanger was waiting at third to see what happened. But I think you're right. Seaver was trying to set it up
First base open, lefty Boo Powell on deck. Seaver a righty, Frank Robinson a righty. A matchup you may want to pitch to Frank Robinson.
You may not want to.
You may want to.
Oh, with Boo Powell on deck.
Yeah.
And there's 2 outs.
Two men out. Mets are leading by a score of 1-0. Robinson flies to center in the first inning, to left center. Breaking pitch, misses low and away. It's 2-0. Seaver's control has not been exceptionally sharp. Belanger at third, Buford at second. Fastball swung on and missed. It's 2-1. Of course, he realizes that all he has to do is make a slight mistake to Frank Robinson up there right now, and it's 2 runs, and the Orioles are out in front.
Lindsey Nelson was right about that.
2-1 delivery. And it's popped up foul to the right side, and play with it on Clemens. Side is out.
He's got out of it. So,
2 hits, 4 errors, and 2 out. And in the middle of the third inning, the score is the Mets 1 and the Orioles nothing.
Hey, Lou. Over here in the press box, they're all saying that they don't think Weaver's been officially thrown out. I'm sure he's out. Why don't you Scan and Lindsay now talk about it on the air, because they can't ever remember a manager being ejected from a World Series game.
It's probably because it's been 34 years since the last time a manager was tossed from a World Series game.
No. From the dugout. We cannot find him in the dugout. There's some question along the press that he is officially out of the game. And many of the old-timers who've covered World Series for years cannot ever remember a manager being ejected from a World Series game.
Here's Al Weiss, a career .219 hitter, and hit .215 in 1969. He came up clutch in this series more than once. The first World Series RBI in Mets history in Game 1, the game-winning RBI in Game 2. I'll mention Game 5 at the end, but in the series he went 5 for 11. That's a .455 average. The legendary Brooks Robinson couldn't handle that one. Luckily for him, they scored that a hit.
That'll bring up Tom Seaver in a sacrifice circumstance here. We'll wait for a scorer's decision. The scorers are Dick Young of the New York Daily News, Joe Durso of the New York Times, and Lou Hatter of the Baltimore Sun. Orioles protect against the sacrifice likelihood as Seaver bunts foul for strike 1. It's scored as a base hit. It is a base hit for Al Weiss. Sacrifice still on, and it's low out of the strike zone, 1-1. The Mets are leading 1-0, and they're batting here in the bottom half of the third inning. Seaver has checked with the sign man Eddie Yost in third base. Low for a ball, it's 2-1. Seaver checks the sign again.
Tom Seaver used to be a good hitting pitcher too.
First down, there's nobody out. 2-1 pitch. Bunted on and missed. No throw. Nobody at the bag. And it's 2-2. Ellie Hendricks had the arm cocked. There's Yost running through the signs for him. Yost never played a day of minor league baseball. He has a master's degree from New York University. It's said that the Met coach at first, Yogi Berra, has a doctor's degree from Casey Stengel. It is bunted foul, and it's 2-2. Check it. It's the third strike bunted, and he's a strikeout victim.
So Seaver strikes out on the 2-strike foul bunt.
Second for Cuellar. That'll ring up Tommy Agee, who's been up one time, and he grounded out third to first. Runner at first now, one away. Bottom half of the third inning. Breaking pitch in for a called strike.
Again, he threw it where he wanted it.
But Harrelson's got it. He's a switch hitter batting right. He's been up one time and had a single in left field. Fouled it off, and it is strike one. Runners returning, Agee to first and Weiss to second. And Jim Harton is up and throwing in the bullpen now for the Baltimore Orioles. Right-hander Jim Harton.
Jim Harden will eventually be up in the bullpen again, but he'll never actually come into the game.
The count is strike one to Harrelson. There's one man out. Missed outside. It's 1-1. Screwball. Ground ball. Johnson comes up with it. Makes the play to move foul just in time to get Harrelson
He
running from the
almost
out.
didn't get his foot down.
Powell was pulled off the bag and trying to feel that
Yeah,
ball,
see?
and he just found his way back there.
That's exactly what
Cleon Jones comes
Gary
up.
just said. Same thing.
Yeah.
Cleon bounced into a double play in the first inning. He's had only one hit in the World Series thus far.
Hey Amy, you notice how people used to wear suits to games?
I was wondering when you were going to mention that.
Yeah, it was like going to church
Yeah.
or going to the Kentucky Derby. They had to be dressed up.
Women wore dresses, men wore shirts and ties.
Yep.
Let's go, Mets.
Foul off and out of play. Strike one.
Mets were very big underdogs here, Amy, in this series.
Tommy Agee at second with two away.
100-1 odd underdogs to be exact.
Because the Orioles won how many games during the year?
109.
And the Mets won how many?
100.
Ground ball. And it's taken by Robinson. And the plate of foul in time. The Magic Glove came up with that one. And the tide is
And this is game
Four
two.
runs, two hits,
4.
Four.
and left.
Mets are up 2 games to 1.
The score is the Mets 1, the Orioles nothing.
But this was the game that kind of put it out of reach.
Pretty much. Okay, so we're going to fast forward all the way to the 7th inning. As, like Seaver, Cuellar escaped his first jam in the third as well. So we move ahead to the top of the seventh, with the Mets still up 1-0. If you look, you'll see the shadows are starting to creep in.
Now I missed the beginning. Where was this being played?
Shea Stadium.
It is at Shea. Okay.
Shea was only 5 years old.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah.
At the time. It opened in 64, and this is 69.
We'll start with World Series report. Jim Simpson, Sandy Koufax, and Mickey Mantle. And then Game 5 of the
Is this the game that Daddy was at?
Yeah.
here on NBC.
No,
Game 4.
no, you said game
Oh
3.
no, he was at the Gentry game, so game 3.
1-0.
Him and Teofilo, I believe, and Teochito.
Seaver's allowed just 3 hits. That's headed toward the seat.
I'm gonna Google to see how much a World Series ticket was for that game.
Seaver has struck out 3, walked 2. Blair single in the first.
I'll bet you it was $50.
Blair had back-to-back
I bet you it was less than that.
The Orioles haven't had a hit since the third. Just off the corner, 2-1. Veteran right-hander Dick Hall now is warming up for the Orioles. Foul back. 2-2 to Brooks Robinson. About another 5 minutes, that batter is going to be in the shadows.
You ready to hear this?
It's slowly to Charles. Goes Robinson out.
Tickets for the 1969 World Series at Shea Stadium range from $6 for standing room to $15 for field level box seats, with general admission around $8.
Wow.
Ellie Hendricks has walked and grounded out. Glendenon covers the first base line against him. The outfield swings toward right. You can look out there and see A.T. in right center for him. 0-1 to Hendricks. Nothing happened in the stands down below us. He pops it off as Seaver jammed him right on the fist. Harrelson squeezes it out, number 2. Seaver right now is overpowering these batters. Second baseman, Dave Johnson, number 15. Dave Johnson looking for his first World Series hit. In 69 has gone over.
See who's batting, Amy?
Force play, and he's flied out to left.
For Baltimore,
Who is that?
Davy Johnson.
Oh, you're kidding.
Nope.
And 20 years later, he's the manager of the Mets.
Yep.
That's funny.
In the World Series. As a matter of fact, Davy Johnson made the last out of this World Series.
Oh, you're kidding.
Slider hit that corner, 0-2.
Hey, Rich.
Two left-handers
Good.
tomorrow.
Doing the podcast.
So is he in the middle of his career at this point?
Yeah.
Or at the start?
I
It was the middle of it.
Did you send the link to Uncle Rich?
Oh,
Down, nobody out.
what's his email?
Text me your email.
1-2
And I'll give it to him. I'll send it to you. You can join
Do you
in.
want me to send
We're
him the
halfway
link
through
you
it.
sent me?
Yeah, send it.
Do that.
Amy's gonna send it to you if you want to jump on for a couple minutes.
Lower right line. An overpowering inning for Don Seaver. At the end of 6.5
I'll call you
innings, it's
afterwards.
New York 1 and Baltimore nothing.
Send it. Yeah, send it to him, Amy.
Let's get down to the old Yankee flash, Tony Kubek.
Will be one of baseball's all-time greats, Stan Musial. Stanley, that Seaver looks like he's getting loosened up.
Yes, he is. His control is a lot better now. He's going much harder, so he's pitching very well.
Stan Musial, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming
Stan
out.
Musial.
Very good.
Yeah.
Let's
Well, the fans set back down after the Mets have been impressed, and Don Clendenin has struck one on him.
Still 1-0, right?
Correct.
That came in a second. He struck out in the fourth. 0-2. He had tagged Cuellar for 2 hits in the opening game of the series. Cuellar is pitching him a little bit differently now. Down low, a lot of breaking stuff.
Imagine that. $15 to the World Series.
I know.
When I paid, you remember how much we paid to go to the Cub game?
Well, this may be the last
And that was the
inning of
NLCS.
Cuellar. Let's see, the Orioles have
1,000?
It was like $900
Cuellar due to hit in the top of the 8th.
might very well
for
be
2
there.
tickets.
Still trailing
Yeah.
by 1.
Comebacker to Cuellar. Easy play over to Powell. There's 1 out. Ron Swoboda's right now. He's grounded to short and he's sitting to center. Ed Charles will be on deck.
Here's Ron Swoboda. He hit 2 home runs in his first 4 MLB at-bats in 1965 and hit
6 hits for the Mets. No runs.
15
for the Orioles.
before the All-Star break. Pitchers realized he loved hitting fastballs
Curveball in left field.
as he rips the base hit into left field, so they threw a lot more breaking balls, and he only hit 4 more home runs in the season. I'll talk about his fielding in the ninth.
Ed Charles has grounded out and struck out.
Here's Ed Charles, who spent his last 3 Major League seasons with the Mets. As it turns out, he hung up his spikes after the series. Those who have seen the movie 42 know about him meeting Jackie Robinson when he was a child.
1-0.
He also made a great play in Game 2 and started the rally that helped Mets win Game 2. Talk about going out with a bang.
Doing nothing to it. Doing 1. Swoboda at first, 1 out. Drive deep, Buford's there, 2 down. Outside of Clendenin's home run, that's been the hardest hit ball of the game. Jerry Grody has struck out
Here's
twice.
Jerry Grody, who I mentioned earlier was one of the best defensive catchers of his era. Not a bad hitter, he was a 2-time All-Star.
Say hi.
Oh. Uncle Rich?
I'm here.
Hi.
So bring him up to speed where you are in the game.
We're currently at the bottom of the 7th inning. The Mets are up 1-0.
And how did the Mets score their run?
Don Clendenon homered in the 2nd inning.
And what game are you showing?
Game 4 of the 1969 World Series.
Game 4 of the 69 World Series.
Here, 2 hours.
Oh, it's the Orleans on there.
Hi, Titi.
Mets are up 2-1.
Yep.
The loser will get 10,000.
So, Rich, they were just talking about how much World Series tickets were at that game. How much do you think?
$50.
That's what Amy guessed. Field level tickets, $15.
Oh my gosh. It's practically the same as now.
Yeah. And take a look at the crowd when you get a chance. Men wore suits and ties to the game. Women wore dresses. And I was talking about how beautiful a day in October it was. And when we Googled, what the weather was like, it was, at the time, the hottest October on record. Temperature around 68. And New York had experienced 58 days without rain. And that's for the Orioles, because Uncle Rich was a big Orioles fan, Alex. Right, Rich? Growing up?
Back in the day.
Yeah. So this is Cuellar, is still pitching?
Yes.
And then Tom Seaver was the Met pitcher. Boog Powell at first base for the Orioles.
There it goes. Hit for short. Belanger over to Powell. The Mets are returned to the last of the 7th. No runs, 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 left. At the end of 7 innings here in New York, it's the Mets 1 and the Orioles nothing.
And we believe this was the first World Series in color. Shown in color.
Game 3 was shown in color.
No, the first World Series over.
Oh.
Who's Metzi?
I'm sorry?
Oh, that's Lisa.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Doesn't.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Eddie Watt warming up, Lou. We pause now for station identification. Shortstop. Mark. Belanger. Number 7. Kirk County with Lindsey Nelson here at Shea Stadium. Mark Belanger leads off for the Orioles in the 8th inning. Strike 1. Eddie Watt is warming up in the Oriole bullpen, and Dave May is on deck to bat for Mike Cuellar. And the Mets pitching staff earned run average in this World Series 1.36.
Jeez.
Is Seaver still pitching?
Yes.
Does he pitch the whole thing?
Yes.
Back then, Amy, there were very few relief pitchers.
Oh, so back then they actually...
Starters were often the finishers.
Okay.
Here's Dave May pinch hitting for Mike Cuellar.
And Rich, do you remember the Orioles manager, Earl Weaver?
What's funny about that is I was actually doing some research of something either today or last night, and his name came across my desk because of the impact that he had on baseball.
Real? Wow. Alex, before Alex starts his podcast, he gives like a real rundown of like the whole series and what you're going to watch, and he talked about Earl Weaver. And tell Uncle Rich what you read about Earl Weaver.
Hang on, it's right here. He relied on pitching, defense, and power. He loved 3-run home runs as Dave May strikes out. Didn't give a damn about pitch counts, which is the exact opposite of managers today. He was always determined to bring out the best in his players. He loved awesome defense, power hitters, obsessed over OBP, one of the first managers to actually do so, and he wanted his hitters to wait for a good pitch to hit. The things he hated included stolen bases, bunts, hit-and-run plays, and of course, umpires. He was ejected more than 90 times in his managerial career, including the postseason. He would often turn his cap backwards to get closer to an umpire during an argument. Sometimes after an ejection, he would get on the phone to tell the coaches what moves to make.
1-0. New York Mets leading in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, it was something, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was.
Foul back. They're just not getting a good piece of anything off this kid. Seaver's last 8 starts in the regular season. He pitched 8 complete games and allowed only 8 earned runs in those last 8 games.
Did you hear that? That's like one run per start.
So Earl Weaver, as of today, is the manager who's been thrown out the 4th most times ever.
That's right.
Behind Bobby Cox,
Yeah,
John McGraw, and Leo DeRocher.
that's right.
Who was the number 1?
Bobby Cox.
The Atlanta Braves.
I can see that.
Bobby Cox was actually ejected from 2 World Series games.
Alex, I saw Ed Charles was wearing number 5. That's going to be the next number that the Mets retire, I think.
Didn't the Mets already retire at number 5?
Isn't that David Wright?
Yeah. Mom, they already.
That's right, D. Wright.
Yeah.
I forgot.
As
I
for
watched it.
as for Tom Seaver, talk about redeeming yourself from Game 1. So Eddie Watt is coming in to pitch for the Orioles. He currently ranks 8th on the Orioles' all-time list in saves. Eddie Watt is a member of the Orioles Hall of Fame.
Tony Quebec. Thank you, Kurt and Lindsay. With me down here, the manager of the St.
When
Louis
was the
Cardinals,
last time
Red
you put your
Shades.
drops in?
And Red, I'm trying to think of a
Ooh,
pitching staff.
it was a few hours ago.
That control as hard as this Mets staff.
Well, like everybody says, good pitching will stop good hitting, and so far the Mets pitchers have been doing a real good job. And Seavers hadn't been pitching as well lately as he had been in the beginning of the year and all year. But today, after the 4th and 5th inning, he looked like his coordination and he's real steady right now. He's really firing the ball right now.
Well, Red, you know, it looks like here's a fellow that pitched almost 300 innings during the season. You think Seaver's arm could be a little bit tired?
I don't think he's that tired because they usually use practically a 5-man rotation all year, so he couldn't be too tired. But he's in the groove right now and throwing well.
Red, have you seen much of the Oriole Ball Club? How do they impress you?
Well, they got a terrific ball club with a guy at third.
Who they
base, their
interviewing
whole
now?
infield, the outfield, good hitting
I'm not sure.
Good, but like,
I think it's Red Sheen.
My times have changed.
Depends on all pitchers.
Times have changed. He can't be too tired. He's thrown 200 pitches. He should be fine.
Let's go on back upstairs.
Okay, Tony, and Eddie Watt, 27 years old, is now on. He led the Baltimore staff in most appearances this year with
Is this Al Weiss?
Yeah.
with 5 wins, 2 losses. He had 16 saves and a low earned run average of 1.65. Al Weiss, 2 for 2. 2 singles. 4 for 6 in the series. Strike to him. Straight away for Weiss and not too deep. Seaver will be on deck. He'll get a big ovation. Fly ball to left field. Buford almost in his tracks. 1 out.
Is it bottom of the
Seaver
8th?
comes up.
Yeah.
Watch the crowd respond here at Shea Stadium.
Gil Hodges showing a lot of confidence by letting Seaver bat while up 1-0 in the 8th.
Well, that's the sort of thing that happens all year long here at Shea, where the fans...
Yeah, that would never happen now.
I mean, look at everybody wearing shirts and ties.
on their very own, and Seaver
That kills me.
Yeah.
Strike. He struck out into a double play. Isn't he the one who really set the pattern that we can be a winner someday here?
Absolutely. It was his conduct and his belief.
Dave Johnson, the second baseman, handles Seaver's grounder, who just crossed it out and tried to...
He's got to conserve his energy.
Run right to the dugout.
Top of the order, and Tom
He
Ace.
didn't even run to
This
first.
might be a dumb question, but did they have lights at the stadium like this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Orioles will have
Oh, okay. Because I see that it's really starting to get dark.
But they played all day games. The first playoff night game, I think, was 1970, the next year, wasn't it?
71.
71.
been a tremendous year for baseball. Their centennial year. All-time teams picked. The All-Star game in the nation's capital. Reception by President Nixon.
And the funny quote, Rich, Arlene, and Amy, was
Concept, 4 divisions.
there was a story once where
Wild West with 5 teams.
somebody said in the story, I think it was in the mid-60s,
Split up the whole
that
nation.
said,
Story of
the
Omaha
Mets,
Cubs.
the Mets will win a World Series when they put a man on the moon. And in July of 1969, they put a man on the moon, and in October, the Mets won the World Series.
No, they were right.
Well, it's a 1-2-3 inning for Eddie Watt.
Wow.
And at the end of 8 innings at Shea Stadium, it's the Mets 1 and the Orioles nothing.
I mean, up until this point, the Mets had never finished better than second to last.
So we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Mets are still up 1-0. Coming up next, one of the greatest catches ever by an unlikely Magic Met.
Arlene, you like the organ playing?
I don't hear an organ.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, you can't hear it?
That's weird.
Uncle Rick sent me a picture of a book called The Last Manager. It's about Earl Weaver.
Wow.
If you're interested,
Seven innings, 7 hits, 1 run, the home run by Clendenin. Didn't walk a batter, struck out 4. Great performance. Tom Seaver.
So this is the top of the 9th?
Yes, it is.
Doesn't go his way, does it?
You'll see.
Frank Robinson. And Boog foul. Either one of these men with one swing of the bat could tie this game.
Here's Nancy Seaver.
That's Nancy Seaver.
She gets a little emotionally involved in these things, Curtis. She always sits in that seat when Tom is pitching.
Outside of Robinson, the ball one. Handsome young couple.
They are indeed.
Robinson.
Hey guys, I'm sorry. I have to jump. I have to get Talina to bed.
Oh, that's
Alrighty.
okay.
There's Boog foul on.
Love you.
Love
This
you.
was great, Alex. Thanks.
Check swing
Yeah,
foul.
thank you. Bye now.
Hey.
In their last 45 games, they had
Am I
one
still here?
shutout every
Yeah, you're there.
15 shutouts of their last 45.
So the estimate, Rich, is that Seaver in this game, because they never really, I mean, I guess you could watch the game and count the pitches, but they didn't keep an exact count. But his estimate was in this game he threw between, because he went 10 innings, 130 to 140 pitches.
They're 2 outs and being shut out twice in a row today.
And right now they don't even allow pitchers to really throw past 100.
The Orioles were shut out 8 times during the season, as Kirk Alley just said, but never twice in a row.
Foul back to Robinson. So the last 19 in the third inning, the Orioles have failed to score. They've had only 1 run in their last 30 in the third inning. Ed Charles right on the third base line against Robinson. The guard against the extra base hit. Foul is going to be out of play.
We also talked about the fact, Rich, that
You can see
none of the
Charles.
dugouts or the stands had any netting, protective netting.
With 1 out. Step on
Oh,
the
yeah.
line. And Clendenin's guarding the first base line, guarding the corner. 2-2 to Frank Robinson. Coming back and out of play. Robinson's had some good swings. But just getting a piece of it.
And Yogi Berra was the Mets' first base coach.
That's when you know that pitcher's got good stuff. Seaver reminds you a lot of Robin Roberts. The 2-2 delivery. Base hit to left field by Frank Robinson. Fumbled momentarily. Robinson is holding though. So the Orioles have the tying run on now at the top of the ninth. And Boog foul the batter. There's the first hit for the Orioles.
So this game is in shape.
At Shea, yeah.
Foul is struck out, grounded out, wide to center.
But here's some trivia that you don't know about Memorial Stadium.
Right-hander Ron Taylor, left-hander Tuck McGraw.
It was what?
Up in the Met bullpen.
Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. It was built in 1922 and then it was upgraded, if I'm not mistaken, like in 1954 or thereabouts.
Frank Robinson at first, 1 out for the Orioles.
But the trivia for you is that one of the guys who worked on Memorial Stadium, he was a welder that according to that, and I know that he was part of the construction crew, a guy named George Hamilton.
George, like, related to you?
Yeah, he was,
They're deep and about
the
3
short
steps to
answer
right.
is, he was one of my dads, but,
He hit the foul to left center also.
yeah, that's just the easy answer.
That's pretty cool.
That is really cool.
There's a throw by Swoboda, cut off by the shortstop, Harrelson, and the Orioles have the tying run.
I used to remember, what I remembered about Memorial Stadium all the time, when I used to watch some of the Yankee games when they were playing the Orioles down there. At nighttime with the lights, they used to have like a moth infestation. You could see moths all over the place.
Finally decided and gets up.
By the way, that base hit by Frank Robinson was the first hit for the Orioles since the 3rd inning.
Wow. That's the top of the ninth.
Top of the ninth.
Top of the ninth, 1 out.
First and third. Trailing 1-0.
The batter will be Brooks Robinson.
So basically, Seaver's just weak. I mean, obviously, he should be able to throw 300 pitches.
Well, whatever he was asking him, Seaver was
Like,
nodding
"Hey,
his
coming
head.
out."
Was nodding his head yes, and that was enough to convince him to stay in. You're about to witness one of the greatest catches in World Series history.
Ball to tie it up for the Orioles.
Here we go.
Robinson has not had the ball out of the infield. Grounded to short, fouled out, grounded to third. Straight away for him in the outfield. And there's a drive to right center. Swoboda. Comes up with it, and trying to third. Here comes Frank Robinson. The game is tied.
So the game is tied up, but there's a good chance that the Orioles would have gone ahead. What was so astonishing about this play was that Ron Swoboda was never really a finalist for a Gold Glove. Look at this.
Beautiful catch by Ron Swoboda. And now the
I mean,
are going to call the appeal.
he was known as Rocky because his fielding wasn't exactly reliable. I mean, he'd run into someone, he'd misjudge something. That's the kind of outfielder he was. That's why they called him Rocky. As for this play, he said he thought he had a good jump on it, but he wasn't sure he was going to get there. He knew he had to dive for it, so he just laid out, and he said that when he left the ground, he had no idea that it would hit his glove. When it did, he said he was more surprised than anyone.
We're in a 1-1 ball game now. Here, Brooks Robinson, the sacrifice fly.
That was one of the greatest catches, but still the greatest catches in World Series history was by Willie Mays over the shoulder.
Yeah.
What year, son?
54.
So many times over the years.
There you go.
Clutch hits for the Orioles. That time was a clutch drive that got the tying run in. There's a long belt down the right field line, and that one is foul. Ellie Henry just missed a 2-run homer.
Wipe your eyebrow on that foul ball.
And these Mets fans are oohing and awing now. I believe Seaver is too, and there is Hodges. Two balls, one strike. Two down, foul at first. 3-1 for Ellie Henry. Dave Johnson's on deck. Well, the Orioles finally cracked back into the scoring column. Brooks Robinson drove in the last Oriole run in the 7th inning of the second game. Foul back off the fist. It's 3-2.
Yeah, that was the first runs for the Orioles since Game 2.
Jones has made a fine play in left today, and Swoboda that diving stab in right. The 3-2 pitch. Runner going. A drive out into right field. Swoboda's over there. Flags it down. 1 run. The Orioles. 2 hits. No errors. 1 left. At the end of 8 1/2, the game is now tied 1-1.
Well, they tied it, but they saved the.
Yeah. Now, Boog Powell wasn't a fast runner. He couldn't run, but if the ball had gotten by Swoboda, there's a very good chance he would have scored.
Join us again tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time when NBC Sports begins its coverage of Game 5 of the World Series. World Series report hosted by Joe Fisher, Charlie Koufax and Mickey Mantle. And Dave McNally of the Orioles goes against Jerry Kuzma of the Mets. Living color on NBC. Bud Harrelson, Leon Jones, and
Okay, so with the game now tied at 1, Eddie Watt is still on the mound.
Watch pitch.
Bud Harrelson is leading off for the Mets in the bottom of the ninth. And of course, against the righty Eddie Watt, he's turned around to hit left-handed.
And left-hander Pete Rickard. Eddie Watt retired the Mets in order in the 8th. Mike Cuellar now is off the hook and no longer the pitcher of record. The ball.
exactly what you were saying.
That's right.
A 2-2 delivery. Well, a bounding ball by the pitcher, charged by Johnson. Snap! He has him at first base.
Boo.
Second baseman charging that one. Left fielder. Leon. Jones. One out. And Leon Jones up. And still the most unexcited man in this ballpark is the manager, Gil Hodges. That's the Orioles dugout. Jones does not have the ball out of the infield. Hit into a double play, grounded to third, grounded to short. 1-1, last of the ninth inning.
Who? Hey, who?
I think that's what that is.
Really?
2-0. Curve just missed. Watt thought he had the play. W-A-T-T, Eddie Watt. Fastball for a strike. He came out in the Baltimore dugout in game 2 with a black snake draped around his neck. Mulder Bosky had left it in the clubhouse. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball to left field. And the winning run at first. Buford's back into Davy Johnson. Dunn comes in the batter.
Hey, son, wasn't he the MVP?
And Dunn hit a home run in the
Who was the MVP?
fourth out to the pitcher's second.
Clendenin.
Yep.
He was the MVP, yeah.
Curve for a strike. And really playing it deep now, backing up, is Buford in left field, almost to the warning.
No way that was a strike, by the way.
The glare is not as deep. And over and left is Buford, way back. Fouled out of play, strike 2. Leon Jones at first. 1 out, last of the ninth inning. Game tied 1-1. On deck is Ron Swoboda. Struck him out on 3 pitches. Had him going for a bad ball that time. 2 down. Swoboda will get a hand for that diving catch. Round to short and 2 hits.
Well-deserved standing ovation for Ron Swoboda.
Leon Jones at first stole 16 bases during the season. They're 2 down. Curve a bit in the air to right field. Frank Robinson coming. Can't get it. Over the third is Jones. The throw comes into Powell. Runners on first and third. Swoboda has his third hit in a row. As he loops it into shallow right. Art Shamsky now is coming out to bat for Ed Charles.
Okay, so lefty Art Shamsky is coming in to bat for Ed Charles. And pitching coach George Bamberger is going to go out to the mound. And he could go to left-hander Pete Rickard to come in to face the lefty Art Shamsky.
And here is Bamberger, the pitching coach for the Orioles, coming out.
was Svoboda that was just up, right?
Yeah.
You know what Svoboda means?
What?
Now they're calling
It's
Buchner
Russian
over.
for freedom.
Really?
The Mets now have the winning run at third. And Cleon Jones.
Pretty cool.
Svoboda's at first. They're 2 down. The game tied 1-1 in the last of the ninth. Shamsky hit 300 this year, had 14 homers. He tore the Braves up. He had 7 out of 13.
You're right.
In the National League Championship Series. Water staying in.
What'd you say?
I said you're right.
Yeah.
Shamsky played as a full hitter to right
Anyways, he decides to stick with Eddie Watt to pitch to Art Shamsky.
A little seats for him as I am right here at Shea Stadium. Swings and bounds it out to Dave Johnson, and we're going to extra innings.
Extra innings.
And Tom Seaver does something very few pitchers have ever done.
2 hits.
Pitch the 10th inning.
That's
And
correct.
2 men left. At the end of
Don't
9,
worry, Arlene and Rich. The 10th is the last inning.
1-1.
Cracking up with this organ.
NBC News presents a day in
I don't
October.
understand why I can't hear it. Are you guys hearing it on the screen?
Yeah. On the desktop. It's kind of like in the background.
Tonight at 11:30 on NBC.
I can hear the guy talking.
New York time, we're going
You don't hear the public address behind his voice?
to tell you about the 10th inning. Lindsey Nelson. Thank you very much, Scotty. And hello again.
Like
The music stopped now.
Yeah. It's only like in between innings.
Wayne Garrett is now playing third base.
Here's the pitch. In there for a called strike. Seaver has been in here all the way. He struck out 5 and walked 2. Breaking pitch hits to Garrett on through him.
And Wayne Garrett immediately commits an error.
Backed up by Harrelson to hold him to 1 base. So Johnson leads off here in the top half of the 10th inning. And he's on at first. It'll be Belanger coming up now, the number 8 man in the order. Checking with Billy Hunter, who is the acting manager with Earl Weaver having been ejected by umpire Shag Crawford. Dick Hall throwing out in the bullpen now for the Baltimore Orioles with Belanger up there. That was Johnson's first hit in this series. He was 0 for 11. Belanger squares. Brody moves in to take it. It is strike 1. Johnson the runner at first. We're in extra innings here at Shea Stadium in New York. The 4th game of the World Series. Bunted up into the air. Who can play it? Brody can in foul territory. So Belanger has bunted out, and now Watt is going back to the dugout, and I think we'll get somebody to bat for Eddie Watt.
So here's the funny thing is, with
Play down,
Earl
Rumble.
Weaver hating to bunt,
Play down,
he's
Rumble
not
with
the
a left-hand
manager in
batter.
this game.
A catcher by Trey.
I mean, I'm sure he probably has told them to, but
Yeah, good catch. But bunting with the pitcher spot up next?
well, they knew they were going to pinch hit for the pitcher though.
Yeah.
Last extra inning before today.
Yeah. Here's Clay Dalrymple pinch hitting for Eddie Watt.
St. Louis won it 5-2 at Yankee Stadium in 10 innings. As Dick Hall. Fastball is low. Walker.
Lou Walker was the Mets pitching coach for ages.
Yeah.
Bullpen is busy. Ron Taylor and Tug McGraw, right-hander and left-hander, in double barrel action in the Met bullpen. There they are. Seaver stays in the ball game. Buford is a switch hitter. Struck out, grounded into a force play, grounded out first base to the pitcher covering and popped out. Breaking pitch low for a ball. Buford homered off Seaver last Saturday in Baltimore. Johnson at second base. Dalrymple at first base. And it's a high fly ball to deep right field. Swoboda's back in the warning track, has it lined up. Johnson tags at second, moves across. Throw goes to second. Runners at first and third now with two away. That will bring up Tony Blair.
Number 6.
Had a base hit. Tried to bunt his way on and was thrown out at first. Walked and flied out to right field. So the Orioles have the go-ahead run at third base now, with runners at first and third, two away in the top half of the 10th inning. Breaking pitch outside, 1-2. 1-2 delivery. Breaking pitch, striking out.
And Paul Blair goes down swinging.
Back out number 6 for Seaver. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. In the middle of the 10th inning, the score is the New York Mets 1, the Baltimore Orioles 1.
Coming into pitch for the Orioles is Dick Hall. He currently ranks 10th in the Orioles' all-time list in saves, and like Eddie Watt, Dick Hall is a member of the Orioles Hall of Fame.
Well, let's see. Turkey neck call, I guess.
Who's that pitcher?
Dick Hall.
Having been cut loose by the Philadelphia Phillies, made a place for
It's like a
himself.
sidearm.
Yeah.
So it's in the
It's kind of funny the way Lindsey Nelson's gonna describe him when he's pitching to Jerry Grody.
struck out swinging and grounded.
Did you hear the story about what Kirk Gowdy and Lindsey Nelson said?
For a crowd of more than 50.
He was a third baseman and he had a fraternity pen on his t-shirt and he said, "The way you play third base, you better take it off. It'll be permanently attached to your chest."
Guess he wasn't that good at third base.
Yeah. He was 39 in this game, oldest man in the series. This was his first World Series. As they said, he has great control and throws strikes better than anyone else.
Change up and it's high. Now Weiss on deck. A sign off the glove of Billy Hendricks. No damage done. There are no base runners. It's 2 balls and a strike now to Jerry Grody. Only Tug McGraw throwing at the moment in the mid bullpen. It is popped up down the right field line. Frank Robinson gives it a long run, but this is out of play. Robinson's there, Johnson's there, Powell's there, but it's well back into the lower field boxes. The count now to Grody. Foul out. Dick Hall has a deceptive delivery. You'll notice it's been described as something like a beach chair unfolding. 2-2 pitch. It's high, a little tight. It's 3-2 now. I don't think Hall will get mixed up in the count. He's
Kind of like a beach chair unfolding.
This will be a payoff pitch. Popped up in the short left field, and Hoover couldn't see it. He lost it in the front momentarily. Playing second base, and he is safe at second. Jerry Grody in at second base.
Lindsey Nelson was right, wasn't he? He did lose it in the sun, didn't he?
He did.
Did you see how... Look how far back he's playing. Look.
Yeah, I don't understand. Jerry Grody was a horrible hitter.
Yeah.
I don't understand why he was playing so deep.
And if you saw, he didn't break right away.
Oh, that's an easy fly ball.
Yeah.
Turned into a double.
Grody's in there. The Mets have the winning run. Now at second base, and we're going to have a pitch run. Rod Jasper coming in to run for Grody. As the Mets make a bid to win it here in the bottom half of the 10th inning, it is Jasper running for Grody.
Is he a pitcher?
Nobody out.
No, Rod Gasper wasn't a pitcher.
There he goes, talking to Al White. You'll recall that it was Al White who delivered the winning RBI in Sunday's game for the New York Mets, the 2-1 contest.
With the pitcher spot on deck, they're going to walk Al Weiss. Set up a force play.
Set up the double play.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of a move that the Orioles make. The acting manager is Billy Hunter. In the third inning, manager Earl Weaver was ejected by umpire Shaq Roberts. They're going to put him on this time. Weiss is being intentionally walked. Jim Martin throwing in the bullpen for the Baltimore Orioles. We're going to put Weiss on and see if Gil Hodges makes a move here.
See, I would not have put Weiss on.
Go to the sacrifice.
No?
Because even though he had a really good series,
Tug McGraw in the bullpen. We'll know
he was a weak hitting, considered a weak hitting infield.
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier.
I would have pitched to him and then walked the next guy,
So the intentional walk is accomplished. Seaver goes
thinking that I can get one out there.
Gil Hodges standing alongside
Yeah.
Rule
Because now you force the infamous
Hitter
bunt.
coming up, and it's J.C. Martin.
Correct?
The left-hand
Yeah.
batter who in the championship series in Atlanta delivered a pinch base hit that drove in 2 runs. Now here comes George Bamberger to the mound. The guess is that the Orioles will go to their left-hander Pete Richards.
That's hilarious. That's the backup manager?
Billy Hunter?
No, George Bamberger.
He was the pitching
He
coach.
was the pitching coach, and he ended up being a Met manager.
That's right. As I mentioned earlier, Al Weiss was a .219 career hitter and only hit .215 in the regular season in '69.
Did Frank Howard play for the Orioles?
I'm not sure. Okay, so now, with J.C. Martin, a left-handed batter, coming up to bat for Seaver, now he'll go to Pete Rickard, the lefty.
You don't hear that organ, Rich?
I hear the announcer. I also, like, when I go from on mute to off mute, I get it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like there's a noise cancellation.
Gotcha.
You're with me in the commissioner's box, Chief Justice Earl Warren. Sir, I saw you keeping score here. I know you're a real ball fan. I have been all my
He was
life.
the Supreme
I think I
Court
was a great ball fan
Justice.
because I never was a great ball player. Well, I saw you before, and I...
Earl Warren,
Right-hand man,
Rich.
the Chief Justice get that pinch runner, and you beat me to the draw. You had Gasper in the ball game before I did. Gasper was in there, yeah. This is quite an exciting series, isn't it, sir? I think this may be the end of it with Gasper over the plate, too. You think so? You sound like a Mets fan. I am. Thank you very much, sir. Chief Justice Earl Warren. Now let's go back upstairs.
All right, Tony, it is Pete Rickard now, the left-hander, who is coming here to work to J.C. Martin. Rickard won 7, lost 4, earned an average of 2.21 in the regular season. So all the drama of World Series play, and this has been a dramatic World Series, has come down to this here in the bottom half of the 10th inning in this 4th game. As J.C. Martin comes up here now, he batted .209 during the regular season, and he had 3 home runs. Pete Rickard will be 30 years of age on October 29th. He was born in Floral Park, New York, and said he doesn't think anybody there still remembers him. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Tommy Agee on deck. He squares to bunt. Bunts the ball, a good one. It's taken now by Rickard, close to first. That is hit him in the back. Here comes the winning run. The ball is in play. The Mets win the ball game. The Mets win the ball game by a throw at 2-1. As the throw hit Martin in the back. It was in play off in short right field. And pitch runner Gaspar
And really, the only mistake of the day.
won it in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Nancy Fever getting congratulations all around her husband.
That looks like some happy Mets fans.
Yeah.
In the midst of that, laying down what he intended.
When they won this thing, Rich,
That lady's Tom Seaver's wife.
He tore up the field to where it was almost unrepairable.
That was That's Tom
The
Seaver's wife.
next game.
Yeah, the next
Yeah,
game.
when they won the series.
Yeah, there was 5 games, right?
Game 5.
Yeah.
Destroyed every ounce of it.
Yeah, they're going to show the replay, and here's the thing. It's going to show J.C. Martin in fair territory when the ball hits him on the wrist, when the throw. Watch this. Look. What I want to know is that interference?
No, because he's got 1 foot on the line. And as long as 1 foot, if you go back a little bit, you can see his
I don't think
Right
I don't
foot.
think he was far enough in.
yeah, his right foot is on the line. As long as
fair territory to be called out.
as long as any
The Orioles have battled
any part of your body is on that line, then you're considered running in the baseline.
Brooks Robinson that could have gone through to the wall to score 2 runs. That's been scored as an error by Pete Rickard, by the way. And so the Mets win it.
Well, good night, my lovelies.
Hold on, Alex.
We're not done yet.
Alex is signing off now. Hold on.
Listen to
With me on the field, today's winning pitcher and a heck of a ball game, Tom Seaver. This must be the most exciting moment.
You guys.
I'll see you.
Love you.
Love you, Uncle Rich.
This is the most beautiful ball club I've ever seen. They're just fabulous. It's a pleasure to play with them. It really is.
Tom, I talked to your wife before the ball game, and she was so darn nervous, and she said, I know Tom is, and I'm right out there with him. She's a great
I
gal.
think she gets more nervous than I do. She's a great bit of encouragement for me.
You pitched a good ball game. It looked like you got stronger about the 6th inning.
I did. I got a kind of a second wind and made the couple back pitches in the 9th inning, give up a run, but this club just never stopped fighting.
You think we're going back to Baltimore?
I don't want to, Tony. I hope not.
Tom Seaver, thank you so much. Congratulations on your first series victory. Hope there'll be many more.
There's some more, too.
Thank you
Tony.
so much. Let's go on back upstairs. So the winning pitcher in this game is Seaver. The losing pitcher is Dick Hall. So he's doubled. He was replaced by Gasper, the pinch runner, who came in to score the winning run. It was 2 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for the Mets in 10 innings. Baltimore 1 run, 6 hits.
Mama sending you claps.
Oh, okay now. So, Game 5 was a rematch of Game 2. Lefties Dave McNally and Jerry Koosman. In the 3rd inning, Dave McNally hit a 2-run homer, followed by a Frank Robinson solo homer that gave the Orioles a 3-0 lead. When Koosman walked back into the dugout, he said, "That's it, you guys. They will get no more." And sure enough, he shut them down. Now, in the 6th inning, Cleon Jones was hit on the foot in the infamous shoe polish play. Series MVP Don Clendenin then hit a 2-run homer. 7th inning, Al Weiss hit his only homer at Shea to tie it up. 8th inning, the Mets took the lead on a pair of doubles, then scored their 5th run on a pair of errors on the same play. And Davey Johnson flies out to end the game, and the Mets win the World Series in one of the greatest upsets in baseball history. The Orioles would get their redemption the next year, where they would win 108 games, and this time beat the Reds in 5 games. As for the Mets, they would finish 1970 in 3rd place with a record of 83-79. They wouldn't make the playoffs again until they won the pennant in 1973, after coming back from the depths of last place in August. They wouldn't win another World Series until 1986, but the 1969 Mets will always be remembered as one of the greatest underdog teams in history. Well, I think that'll do it. I just want to thank my dad, Ed, and my mom, Lisa, my uncle Rich, and my DT Amy, and my DT Arlene for joining me on this podcast. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And
Do you know which podcast you want to do next or not?
Yeah.
Which one?
Game 6, 1975. Red Sox.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
With that being said, there's my mama. Peace out. I'm Alex Estrada. I hope to see you again next time for the Alex Estrada podcast. Adios, everyone. Feliz Navidad. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all. And to all, a good night.